This video is definitely for entertainment purposes only. Nothing is meant to be taken seriously at all. I'm just sharing my own opinions, not facts, off publicly accessible information first made public by public figures. Please do not go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited, negative, discouraging, or disparaging comments. For entertainment and Leela purposes, she's napping. What's up, y'all? This is not your average reaction. I am just a guy who likes to react to health and fitness stuff, usually girl world. Today, I want to check out Mr. Snowflake's newest video where he is texting Emily. I'm definitely going to have to start covering some of Amber's live streams. She is just, it's a live stream for sure. I've never witnessed her, I think, this manic. But yeah, before we get started as well, I think I have been blocked by Alexandra Rodriguez this morning. When I try to click on her page, this is what comes up. Oh my god, is it just me? Y'all let me know if it's just me. So, okay. Without any further ado, let me move myself. What am I doing? Webcam. Alright. Alright, let's get into it.
I don't even know where to begin or start.
Hi everyone, this is me talking with Emily. Right, here we go. Hi Emily, hope all is well. What made you want to come out now and discuss your time with Amber? Honestly, I was content staying silent for a long time, but I'm tired of watching her dodge any real accountability. She creates her own reality and then expects everyone to play along. The sad part is, most people do because they're either scared of her or don't want to deal with the drama. But I hit a point where I just couldn't sit back and watch her keep rewriting the truth. So I said,
So yeah, this is, Amber heard about Emily talking to Mr. Snowflake, and as a response, she tried to get ahead of the narrative and went live at like 3 a.m. for 2.5 hours. And keep in mind, she usually only goes live for about an hour twice a week, an hour at a time, and she clocks out right on that hour. I don't think I really see her go past 5 minutes. She's usually, close to the dot, out of here. But when she's being exposed actively, she can come on live and talk and bullshit for 2.5 hours, so that is something to keep in mind. It seems like, obviously, Emily is not the most trustworthy person, okay? And I'm not an Emily stan by any way, shape, or form. I think anyone who is a feeder has some deep psychological issues. I actually think, and this is just my opinion, honestly, but it's like feeders, to me, it gives like legal unaliving. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you're like a criminal, or you get something out of doing that kind of stuff, and so the only legal avenue for you to do that is to become a feeder. That's kind of like my out there opinion on that kind of stuff. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, just keep that in mind. This could well just be two narcissists just like attacking each other, and they could both be terrible people. They could have both done terrible things. But I will say I am a little bit more likely to believe Emily, just because I know Amberlyn Reid's past. I know 10 to 13 years of Amberlyn Reid on the internet lying, so it's just logically, I think any person would be like, yeah, I think I'll believe Emily just a little bit more. But let's just keep all that in mind while we read these text messages.
well, I'm glad you have decided to speak up, so I guess we start at the beginning. I'm guessing everything was fine at the start of the relationship, or were there any little red flags? She says, at first everything was great. I really thought I had found someone who was kind.
Emily and Amber's story kind of, they're the same at around this part. So Amber says that it was, perfect at the beginning or whatever.
Laid back and just fun to be around. She was able to carry on a conversation, and it's hard to find these days. Looking back now, I obviously was looking at everything through rose-coloured glasses. She really made it seem like she was this grounded, supportive person. I told her upfront that I was grieving Colleen, and still will be. She said she understood, respected.
And if you don't know, Colleen is Tommy's ex, who Tommy fed into the grave.
That. She said it wouldn't be an issue at all. That was super important to me for her to be accepting of it, and for a little while it felt good. We actually had fun together. We laughed, joked around, and it was chill. I genuinely enjoyed spending time with her before she started showing me who she really is. I guess it was a typical scenario of love bombing. After everything I had been through, it was just nice to feel wanted and not so alone anymore. And I say, was it still nice when she came to stay with you? How long was she meant to stay for? Emily says, there were a few little red flags early on, like how Amber would get upset if I didn't FaceTime her for hours every single day.
And this exact thing, not exactly FaceTiming, but calling, texting, communicating, that kind of behavior has been shown throughout Amber with all of her partners. Almost every single one of her partners that comes out publicly says she does this.
Or if I was busy at work and didn't have time to message her.
Yes, I was very codependent with Destiny, and I can admit that. I can absolutely admit that. I will admit that 100%. I wanted either like a text or like a call just to be like, I love you, my day's been good. That's all. Because I was home alone 24/7. I'm not perfect. Beck wasn't perfect. Like, I was...
This is from the Beck era. You can't see it, but there is a Beck era thing
super
down there.
Controlling of their time, of like their energy. I always wanted them near me. Like, always.
She'd take it personally and get upset. During my first visit to Oklahoma, things actually seemed to go really well. But it was a short trip, and we were still in that honeymoon phase. It was during my second visit that things started to feel off. She would get irritated if I checked my phone or responded to messages that weren't about her or focused on her. That visit also happened right after she posted who I was, and the doxing stuff that followed, so tensions were high, so I kind of brushed it off at the time, thinking it was just stress. But everything really started to change when Amber came to visit me. She was originally only supposed to stay for a week or two, tops. It wasn't going to be some extended thing.
Amber's like first relationship with a now trans man, I can't think of his name right now. It'll come to me. But Amber did this exact same thing with her first partner, basically just moving herself in. And at the time, she used an excuse as like, she said that her mom wouldn't let her come back or her grandma wouldn't let her come back to the house or something like that in order to stay with her current partner at the time.
Planning on probably around 2 weeks. I think she stayed like 3 months, wasn't it? 3 or 4 months? 2 weeks, because that's when I'd be off work and able to take her home. But by day two, I've only seen these, was it last night? I haven't slept for ages, didn't I? I've only seen these once as I was talking to Emily. So I've probably forgotten most of it. Because that's when I'd be off work and able to take her home. But by day 2 of her being at my house, things already started to shift. It was weird how high-strung she was that early on. Day 2. I don't know what shifted, or it was the change in environment, but she just acted off. She really didn't like that I had a life outside of her. I mean, I work 12-hour shifts. I have a family, friends, pets, a house to take care of. I have responsibilities, but anything that wasn't about her felt like an inconvenience to her, and she made that very clear. Well, by day 2, Jesus. I'd get home from a 12-hour shift, completely exhausted from a stressful job, and she'd get upset if I wanted to go straight to bed. She'd say things like, "Oh, you're not going to hang out with me," or ask me to take her to the casino or go shopping. And if I said no, she'd get upset and compare it to her working on vlogs all day. Oh, yeah.
Someone actually...
There is no way Amber is spending more than 2 hours a week total, that's filming and editing to put out those vlogs, y'all. There's from no shot she's doing any more work than that. And on top of that, the way she schedules her stuff when she puts out vlogs is basically live stream, and then right after the live stream at like 8 p.m., she's going to film and edit for her next vlog. That's Walgreens. And yeah, that's basically, that's her cycle, is live stream, film my video after the live stream, but make it seem like I've been filming throughout the week, you know? That's basically what happens.
The idea, 3-minute Vlogmases.
But yeah, there's absolutely no way this chick is putting in any work. She doesn't even use OBS. Like, there's absolutely no way.
Like,
There's
and
no
if
way.
you go over 3 minutes, then awesome, that's amazing. At least you're uploading every single day, even if it's 3 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? That's kind of a good idea.
Saying
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of how I feel. I've been trying to upload every single day for like 4 months now. Granted, I don't think I've posted a video that's like under 10 minutes maybe, but
had the energy to do things, so I should too. Amber expected me to be constantly available.
That's crazy. From what I understand, Emily is a nurse. I don't know what type of nurse, but regardless, to be quite honest with you, usually nurses are on their feet all day, high stress, you know. Imagine going to a 12-hour shift, being a nurse, and then having to come back home to this. That's just... I would have kicked her out to a hotel is what I would have done. I would have said, you need to get out this second. I can't, especially if this chick has money, which clearly she does. By the way, I think Amber made like over $1,000 per live stream during her crash outs. Just keep that in mind. Stop giving her money.
Text or call during my breaks. I'm sure
let her money come from the views. Do not super chat her hate. Even though I do think it's really funny, I think it's so funny. But we can't keep promoting her bad behavior like this. Like her most recent live, I popped into it while it was happening for like 2 seconds, just smug, just disgusting.
Or if I wasn't giving her...
And it's because she's making money, y'all.
Attention constantly, she'd get upset or start a fight. I told her in the beginning that I need to be able to have alone time because that is how I decompress from stress. We've had arguments about that before. She visited too because she didn't like that. She would always accuse me of not loving her and say how terrible of a girlfriend I was. She wanted me to call out of work anytime she was having a crisis. I just felt like she...
That is something that also happened to Destiny. And now it would have happened to Beck as well, but Amber convinced Beck to quit the job that they were at the time and convinced them to not get a job. So, you know, they didn't have to beg for them to come back every single time there was a minor crisis.
Wanted me to stay home.
Can you imagine that? Begging a nurse to come back because you're having an anxiety attack? What if someone's literally coding? Like,
are you getting my text? I feel really sick and I am having an anxiety attack. I really need someone.
I think we all suspected that, talked about that. She was always in a bad mood because of this. If I did anything that didn't involve her directly, she would start an argument. I was exhausted, trying to juggle everything in my life, on top of her constantly being mad at me. We'd get into arguments and she just wouldn't let anything go. She would gaslight, deflect, just typical narcissistic behaviour. It got to the point where I started going into the other room just to sleep because she wouldn't stop arguing with me when I was trying to rest before.
I remember Beck saying stuff like, she would argue with me all day and night and we would get absolutely no sleep. Like, she will hold you hostage physically, if she can, in order to wear you down.
A shift. She came into the room and stood over the bed. Ugh.
I'm just really surprised that she didn't just like keep you locked and cornered into an argument all night and you got no sleep, because if that would have happened with me and her, that's what she would have done with me.
She told me that if I wasn't going to finish the conversation, which was basically her going on and on about how I didn't love her and all this other crap, then said, fine, if I can't have peace from being able to have this conversation, then you aren't going to either. She would then stand next to the bed I was sleeping in and intentionally keep me up all night I felt like this happened every time she knew I was going to work.
Like I said, she would have been kicked out of my house. I would have called the cops. If she did not, I would have called her an Uber and said, I'm sending you to the nearest 1-star motel, and you can stay there, you know, and you can figure out your own stuff. You're an adult, you know. People feel bad for Amber because she's eaten herself into not being physically able to do things, and that's why people coddle her, and it just needs to stop. She needs to be treated like an adult.
Like she was intentionally keeping me up because she didn't like that I wasn't home instead of at work.
And yeah, regardless of Amber, you know, getting rid of her cat on purpose or not, I think she most likely did, unfortunately. Regardless of that, I don't think, I'm sorry if this offends you, I don't think a 550-pound person should take care of animals. I think you need to spend all your time, energy on yourself, on getting yourself settled. And I understand that people may need, you know, emotional support, but if you cannot take care of yourself enough to get down to a healthy weight, there's no part in my brain that makes me think, oh yeah, well, you probably love the animals more than yourself. Well, you don't even love yourself at all. There's zero self-love. So I don't believe it at all. I don't.
Emily again? Yeah, this stuff was happening more and more frequently. And then I say, sounds like she didn't want you to work and just spend all day at home with her. I'm guessing she used BPD as an excuse for her shitty day.
I don't think Amber has BPD. I think Amber either saw something, Googled something to try to explain her bad behavior. I don't think she has BPD, you guys. I think at most she probably has CPTSD, complex PTSD, and she's just lazy, you know. I feel for her. She had a horrible childhood. I feel for her, but you have to put in the work to do better, and it's not just taking a medication. She needs to get cognitive behavioral therapy.
Behavior. How did I know that? She 100% used your BPD. Her BPD as an excuse. That's what frustrating me the most.
Imagine having BPD, unregulated, unmedicated, and finding out just betrayal. Like, you go crazy. Like, you genuinely go crazy.
Anytime she'd have one of her tantrums, she wouldn't.
At some point, you know, this woman, every single relationship this woman gets in is so toxic. How do you not exhaust yourself from living like that? Like, at some point I would just be like, I'm done, you know, like, the drama is way too much. I could not.
Any accountability and say it's because she has BPD. And she'd be like, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to tell you how I feel. When she would literally scream at me about something, like taking 4 minutes longer than I said I would.
Did you really set a timer? I did a couple times. Yes.
Taking 4 minutes longer than I said I would, when I went outside to smoke. Alright, I told her she can't use that as an excuse if she refuses to do anything to help herself to get better. She made a lot of false promises of getting into therapy. She told me in so many different occasions that she was signed up and she never went. I remember a video.
I think he's about to bring up what I'm about to say, I think.
Of, I said, oh yeah, I found a therapist here in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So I have actually...
She posted a video, which I was talking about this with my boyfriend the other day. It's interesting how Amberlyn Reid uses making videos on YouTube to, like, manipulate people in her direct life. Isn't that crazy? She made this video for Emily to try to prove to Emily that, oh, it's got to be real because she's making a video about it, you know, like, wow.
Found a psychiatrist / therapist who I'm going to be speaking to. I'm going to be calling. I have not called yet. I have discovered them. I have found them. I know about them, and they know nothing about me yet.
And this is me. Yeah, I remember a video where she said she found a therapist in Wisconsin, and I thought, right, she's been awful to Emily, and this is her way of saying, hey, I'm going to get help. Because that's what she did with Beck a lot. I'll work on myself, I'll improve, and it didn't last very long.
So I was going to see a BPD therapist when I was in Wisconsin, but they were located in Wisconsin. And I was wasn't thinking at the time, and I do not live in Wisconsin. I live in Oklahoma. So now I have to re-find someone.
Just me again? So what would you do all day when you were at work? I'm gonna take a guess and say nothing. Ha. Lay in bed all day watching reaction channels.
I think she did watch a couple of my videos early on, like before even like 50 views. I had this one person dislike Amber videos, and it's just random because it's just like I would get 2 likes, right? And like my third would be only for Amber videos. It's just like,
how could I have gotten...
And then one time I drank an Olipop in a video, and then the next video she posted, she drank an Olipop, and I was like...
Right. Yep, that was one of
I'm delusional.
her manipulative tactics, and staying longer when it was getting to the point where I was asking her to leave. She thought she would get a therapist here. I'd let her stay so she could do the therapy. She did a whole lot of nothing, to be honest. She'd sit around and watch YouTube videos, including reaction channels, all day.
Reaction channels.
Shocking. I did her laundry. Again,
I could not imagine looking myself up like that, y'all. I get anxiety reading some comments. There's no way I am going to search my name up like that and watch videos. There's just no way, y'all.
I think Casey did all the laundry.
Because me and my mom would do her laundry.
I remember back then I would do our laundry for us. I didn't really like people touching my laundry. I still really don't, but I let Destiny do it because I trust her. Chris always does the laundry.
I cleaned up after her and took care of the pets. She won't ever let Twinkie or the dogs out during the day when she was home, so I'll come home from work. Oh yeah, I have to clean up Twinkie's pee off my brand new floor that I put in. I was really proud of that floor because I recently just...
I can understand having small dogs like that, like Pomeranians, Chihuahuas, and they have small bladders. I know a lot of people that do leave out pee pads during the night. I can totally get that, but like if you're home all day, you have a work from home job, there's no excuse that dog should be pissing in the house during the day. You should be taking the dog out every like 2 to 3 hours. I mean, walk it a couple times a day, but at least let the dog out every 2 to 3 hours because the bladder's small. And Amber normalized putting pee pads all over her house, and she's kind of normalized dogs using the restroom in her house, or all animals, to be quite honest with you. So when stuff like that happens at other people's houses, she's just going to do what she's used to doing, which is nothing.
Put it in, and I did it myself, which is a lot of hard physical work. Well, Amber knows about that.
She's claiming property damages because her dog pees on her carpet, and then Twinkie also was peeing on her carpet.
I don't know anything about Emily's dogs, but I just assume that they're potty trained, and again, usually bigger dogs can hold their wee really, really nicely. I've been dog sitting Miss Leela for like 5 years plus. We've never had a single accident in the house ever, because she's potty trained, and I let her out several times a day.
They both were peeing on the carpet. Like while we were sleeping, they both. So what I did was I bought this really expensive,
Like, no, man. I bet you they both weren't.
2 of them. This really cool, like, gate type thing that she actually still has up to block the, there was pee pads down as well, just for, like, at night when we were both sleeping and they both had a mind of their own, Use pee pads, actually recently started using pee pads for when I'm sleeping. I have an elderly dog. It just happens. Dogs are dogs.
No, man. She's been doing all that forever, man. It has nothing to do with the dog getting older. Granted, yeah, when the dog gets older, it'll be harder for them to, hold it, but...
Like, I tried to fix it. Like, genuinely. And then I ended up buying...
I bet you she didn't try to fix it. Buying something is not trying to fix it. Like, there's no way she's going to put in the work to actually, like, clean it. Why not hire a professional cleaner? That would make a little bit more sense. You just bought her, like, this really expensive, like, vacuum or something. Imagine someone punching a hole in your wall and then they just buy the stuff to repair the hole, give it to you, and then say, I tried to fix it, bro.
A whole steam cleaner for her.
Okay.
Like, I tried to fucking fix it, bro. But it's
Buying something isn't the same thing as fixing it. Okay.
crazy because she has this cat named Princess, which she keeps trying to throw out, by the way. On the
Here comes the projection, right? If you know about Darvo, you know, narcissists like to basically flip every accusation towards the other person. And this is, in my opinion, one of the most obvious ones. You know, Emily has come out and said that she has thrown out her cat, essentially, because she wanted to stay with Emily. And now Amber is literally saying the exact same thing about Emily. It's just pure class.
streets, and I keep telling her not to. She really wants to fuck around. We can fuck around and find out. So I'm fucking done. Anyways, she has a cat that pees all over the fucking downstairs, on the carpet, on the chair, on the
This
couch,
part.
on the clothes, on the this, on the that. So stop trying to fucking blame me and my dog for everything in your life. Because I
Everything.
will literally come for you. Oh,
Literally.
I will literally come for you. And then she remembers that she has no proof of anything. And Emily probably has like tons of videos of her crashing out, BPD meltdown, you know? And so she's like, oh man.
She ruined the flooring because the pee would sit there until I got home from work to clean it. If you remember one of her vlogs, she talked about her responsibilities of letting the pets out.
So on days that Tommy works, especially, like, I have the same, like, morning routine. I'll wake up, take the dogs out, refill cat food, dog food, water. It's just like every day, just my go-to.
That lasted about 2 days. This started a lot of fights too.
It's just back at home in Oklahoma, like, my routine is just a little bit different. So having to form another routine, you know, here in Wisconsin is a little hard.
What do I say? Disgusting. Only time I remember her talking about her responsibility with the pets was when she did the video explaining how Rarity got out.
So usually I take the dogs out and this curtain is usually open.
I'm sure she talked about that stuff before, but I just can't remember. Actually, before I ask you about Rarity, how bad did the tantrums get? What was the worst? If you're okay talking about it, if not, I'll shut my face. The tantrums slowly escalated each time. It started with just her shouting at me, to escalating to her slamming doors and punching walls. Anytime I tried to leave the room, she would block doorways. She was also really jealous. Anytime I talked about Colleen, I wasn't allowed to
Colleen is her ex-partner that passed away.
share memories or say anything about it really anymore, or she would end up getting really upset and pissed off at me for the rest of the day.
I know how much he loved Colleen and still does. Like, I fully get that. During arguments, she would literally tell me, "You're never gonna be Colleen." Like, just saying how much better Colleen was. Like, I had to literally compare myself, and I was in competition with Colleen every single day of my life. Every single day of my life. Every single day that I was with her. But to continuously use Colleen as like a weapon, it became awkward for me.
It was really hard, but the worst of the tantrums was actually the night before Rarity went missing. She saw me scrolling through my phone and there was women on my Instagram feed. She flipped out and said I was micro-cheating.
I want to bring something up. I don't know this for fact, but I do know that Amber usually talks to multiple women at once. And I feel like I remember listening to a drama channel or a reaction channel or something talk about how Amber was talking to other girls while talking to Emily. And then in this story, Amber's going to say, I caught Emily micro-cheating by texting other girls and looking up girls on the internet, like looking at, you know, whatever.
I got really fucking upset. Obviously, anyone even mentally well people would have been pissed, would have been so fucking hurt. Probably marriages would have been divorced. Like that type.
Marriages would have been divorced over texting another person. We don't know what the other person, you know, what the subject actually was, and we do know that Amber found Emily scrolling through Instagram and saw like naked women on her Instagram. Like, I wouldn't get mad at my man if I saw naked men on his Instagram. Okay.
Good deal, okay. So we get in a big fight. Duh.
The argument escalated really fast. That was the first time she got physical with me. She threw things at me.
And she ends up throwing the can at my car. Made me mad.
You saying if I could hit someone, I would? Okay. I can throw this at someone's head.
So this crash out was in response to Amber says that she doesn't hit people, and someone in her comments said, "You would if you could," basically saying that she is unable to hit people. And then this was her response to that. Basically saying, "I can't hit people, but I can throw it."
Did Amber throw a glass at your mom? Yes.
This was Amber's first partner that we know of that Amber moved in with, like, forced herself to, like, move in with when she was, like, 16 or something. I don't even remember.
Like, the fuck? I could take this and throw it? I'm just not a physically abusive person.
I also think it's interesting that she says that. She's getting things mixed up. When she says, "I'm not a physically abusive person," what I think she means is I don't hit people with my fists, but she most definitely is a physically abusive person. She blocks doorways. We find out later that she may have intentionally fell on Emily, and she throws things at people. And all of those things are physical. Now, I know that throwing things aren't physically a part of your body once you throw it, which is what she probably thinks. But no, it's physical because it makes physical contact with people.
Told her I was going to leave the room. She then grabbed my arm and dug her nails into my arm to the point of drawing blood.
I think she has done this to someone else in the past.
All I remember is she got mad and she grabbed my arm. Dug her nails into my arm.
I tried pushing past her to get through the doorway, and she pushed back into me and actually falling on top of me.
Damn. Okay. Even if it was an accident, I want you to imagine a 550-pound person falling on you. I lift weights every day, you guys. That's insane. It would hurt so bad, especially if it's all like localized. Like where does all the pressure hit first? You know, all 550 pounds falling on her hips or her leg or something. Like, that's life-threatening. That's really, really scary. It genuinely is. Amberlynn may not think that because, you know, she's that big. She is the truck, you know, but it's life-threatening.
I remember I tripped over her rug. I landed into her.
Did she trip over the rug because there was piss all over it?
She fell on the ground. And I'm, like, as that's happening, I'm trying to get her, like, as she's falling, I go to grab her off the ground. It didn't work out very.
Amberlyn Reid is about to make fun of Emily's reaction to a 550-pound person falling on her. If something like that happened to me, your life is flashing before your eyes. I would be shaken up. I would be scared. My voice would 100% be shaky, especially if it was also from a partner that I thought, you know, liked me. You know, and it may not even be from fear. Her voice may be trembling from just rage or anger, you know.
She still landed on the floor. And then she started, like, hysterically, "How come you pushed me?" I'm like, what is actually
She's probably screaming that because you need to get off of her.
happening? So she, like, I don't know. It was this whole fucking thing. And I was like, this cannot be real right now.
I said, Jesus. She says, at that point, I was livid. I told her to go back to Oklahoma, and then I was absolutely done. And this is the night before Rarity, right? Whoa, it just pissed her off more. She then grabbed a picture of me and Colleen and held it up and threatened to break it. She knew that it was something that would hurt me more than anything she could do physically to me. Like the lowest she could go, she let her apologise and then tried begging for me back. Saying that it was her BPD. There it is, At first she denied that she did any of those things, which that sucked too.
No, I never destroyed her ex's photo. This genuinely cannot. Like, I have never been so gaslit.
And I'm like, am I just imagining the gouges out of my arm? She apologised profusely when she knew that she couldn't gaslight me into believing it didn't happen. At that point, I went to my 12-hour shift after that. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, then you went back to work, I said. Right, here we go. After work, I didn't want to go back home. I was exhausted, drained, and didn't want to deal with her crap all over again. She had been blowing my phone up all day trying to apologise and see if I would change my mind about having her go back home. Okay. After work, I went for a walk to decompress. She was not happy about that and was blowing my phone up asking me to come home. It was about 2 hours after my shift that I got a text from her saying that she couldn't find Rarity. She said she hadn't seen her all day but was just telling me this now. At that point, I came home.
So basically, after Amber tried other ways to get Emily to come home from work, she says Rarity's lost. And even when she says that, Emily's still like, I'm scared to come home. Like, I bet you she doesn't even believe what Amber is saying.
Right away, I figured she was just somewhere in the house, and she was just saying that to try to get me to come home. But after I searched the entire house, while Amber watched, she wasn't anywhere to be found. At that point, I moved the search outside. I was exhausted, but searched all hours of the night looking for her.
And here's something I don't really understand. I've had like 4 cats throughout my life, and I can't tell you. I've had barn cats too. Cats that like to go outside, cats that are, okay being in the cold. But when it's snowing, you guys, I don't think I've ever seen a cat in real life enjoy snow. When the indoor cats see that it's snowing outside and are offered to go outside, most of the time it's a step outside, come back inside type of deal. And at most, it's touch the snow and freak out and run back inside. The barn cats will stay in the barn. I don't understand how a cat that is not used to the snow or the cold would just freely just walk on out there and not walk back. Like, how horrible do the conditions have to be for this cat not to come back? Because cats have even got out of my house when we were children, and they just come back, So it's like, what were you doing to the cat to make it not come back? There's got to be something. I don't believe for a second. I understand that people do, like, plow the snow, but leaving out the back door, I'm assuming she didn't plow her backyard. So, like, I don't get how that cat's... No. I think Amber did something much, much worse and much more violent, unfortunately, to that cat.
Thought I would find her that night, but it was no luck. I know there's text messages coming up in a second. I'm waiting for that. At that point,
because imagine you throw the cat out and it's not running away. You know what I mean? Because it's too cold.
Posters and hung them up all around town to local businesses. I think Amber even said Emily's basically doing everything.
Tommy has made like online posters and put it on different websites and like went outside and we've been like yelling her name.
Posted on social media and lost cat pages. Amberlynn's one job was to call the shelter to make a report. But when I called the shelter after they found a cat that was deceased that kind of matched Rarity's description, it ended up not being her. The shelter told me no formal report was ever filed. The only
Why would Amber not do that? If the cat really got out and she was told to do that, make a formal report, why would she not do that? I don't understand. I do not understand.
They had was the report from the Lost Pet database that I submitted. So at that point, I filed the formal report with the shelter with her description. But they could call if they had anybody turn her in. I'm sure when we saw the report, everybody was like, oh, Amber's got the age wrong of Rarity, and I'm sure there was something else wrong. I'll have to check. But I guess that would check out if Emily did it. Maybe she would get the details wrong because... So anyway, I think that fits. But I spent hours upon hours driving around looking for her, walking through fields and in between houses around my house through the snow. I think that's what everyone thought, yeah. Amberlynn would go in the drives with me, but obviously didn't do the walking around part. Again, I think everybody, yeah, said that. I would get so pissed when we were driving because...
And it's like, this kind of stuff frustrates me because, yeah, okay, fine. Amber doesn't have the physical ability to do this. But I feel like for a lot of other people that would go through something this traumatic, they'd be like, wow, I think I want to at least get to the ability to where if this happens again, I can at least get out there and look for my cat. You know, not saying she has to be skinny mini, just saying get to a point where you can actually walk around for 30 minutes and look for your cat if it gets lost, you know?
She would have her head buried in her phone playing a stupid Farmville type game instead of looking out the damn window to find her cat.
And to me, that just says she knows that cat's not going to be found. Either she knows the cat's not going to be found, or she knows if the cat's found, it's not going to look good for her.
I have this app on my phone. It's a game. It's called like Harbor Gossip or Gossip Harbor. I don't even know, but I'm like obsessed with it. I've been obsessed with this game, Dice Dreams.
I loved Rarity, and she was a sweet cat that would always sleep on my chest. I did everything I could to try to find her. I can't say 100% that she purposely let her out, but given the circumstances, the situation doesn't look good. No, it does not. If it was a ploy to get her to be able to stay in Wisconsin longer, then I guess it definitely worked.
It was a lengthy stay that became lengthier because we loved being around each other, which then became lengthier once Rarity went missing. I was not going to leave her here.
And see the text messages coming up 2 seconds. Me again. I don't know if you're like Amber and keep old messages, but do you have any messages from Amber about Rarity going missing? It's the one after this one. Yeah, I do. I have the message of her initial reporting when she's missing, which is time-stamped. It shows that her story that she posted on her vlogs about being missing at 5 a.m. was not correct.
When it happened, it was 5 in the morning.
These are the texts between Amber and Emily. Amber says, "So am I leaving? Wait, I read that wrong. I also have moments where I snap at you. I haven't been able to find Rarity all day." What time is this at? 10:06. "I need help finding her, please. I've been calling her name and looking everywhere all day." Emily says, "I'm afraid to come home, to be honest." Amber says, "I didn't go to the back porch." Amber says, "I didn't go to the back porch." Amber made a whole demonstration video at the back porch explaining what had happened. But here she's telling Emily, "I didn't go to the back porch. Don't be afraid, I'm not going to cause you any stress. You can come home and go into the bedroom. I'll stay in the living room till you wake up for work." 10:26 p.m. If you did...
And I'm pretty sure the living room is close to the kitchen. And I believe Amber was like, "I didn't feel a cool breeze for a while, and then I did," or something like that. It's just like, nothing you're saying is making any sense to me, girl, because the story keeps changing so much.
Hurt me on purpose. Why would you regret it? Get real. I don't want you to touch me. Amber says, "I regret anything I've done that has hurt you. I understand. Oh my god, Princess is out."
Princess is Emily's cat, and now she's trying to use Emily's cat, possibly going missing, for a reason for Emily to come home.
Emily's cat. Princess is out. She just went up the stairs into the bedroom. I was so confused for a minute. "Emily, can I ask you something?" "What?" "Can I have another chance?" "No." "So you want me to pack my bags and leave?" "Yes." "Check snap, please." I've been abused before, and I was dumb to have stayed with her because look what it led to. And Amber says, "I would never do that." I sent a whole video. It's taking forever to send. Anyway, there's the text messages. I'll make another video talking more about it, but I'll just keep reading. But yeah, very different to Amber's demonstration video.
Mm-hmm.
Funny that.
We get in a really fucking bad argument. She leaves through the glass door, leaves the door open. I did not notice.
What type of pet parent runs out of a door and doesn't close it? What type of angry person throws the door open? I thought angry people slam doors. I have never, ever witnessed a person throwing the door open in anger. I have seen lots of door slamming, though. I don't believe you that any pet parent, any homeowner would leave their door open. First reason, robbery. People don't leave their doors wide open because you're going to get robbed. Number two, the weather. It's going to increase the bill for your utilities because cold air is going to get in and you're going to have to pump the heat. Three, you have animals in the house that you don't want to get out. Like, there's no way I'm believing this bullshit. Amber just doesn't leave her house enough to have that routine, probably, to like shut and lock her door or something. Like, no, Pookie, this is a very normal thing everybody does.
Because I did not go near the door. I did not go near the door. I was sitting at the kitchen table waiting.
Isn't the kitchen table near the door? That's the part I'm confused at too.
And that's when I noticed the cold breeze. Literally left the fucking door open. And she booked it so fast she didn't even close the door. It was just a lot. In my brain I was thinking, there's no way Rarity got out. We're good. You know, it's like one of them things. It was the next day when I was like, something really just does not seem right. I haven't seen Rarity all day. I'm thinking, oh my god, I've been taking the blame this whole fucking time. I've been taking the blame this whole fucking time.
I want to make something pretty clear. Even if, which I don't think is true, even if Amber's story is true, which I don't think it is still Amberlyn Reid's fault for bringing every single one of her pets to Wisconsin for a 2-week stay. There is no reason that you need to be bringing all your pets over there into a brand new environment with other pets for, to hang out with an internet stranger for 2 weeks. It is your fault, Amber.
Me next. Well, that doesn't look good. She made a couple videos crying about Rarity. Were you off screen watching this, and what did you think? Because her acting is shite. I don't remember saying that. I mean, it's true. Her acting is shite. I've always thought that. I didn't buy she was genuinely sad. Nobody did that, not just me. I was home for a few of them that she filmed. It was always after a fight between her and I. I think she wanted to take advantage of the tears and the crying.
And this is interesting. So Amber gets in a fight with Emily and starts crying, and then immediately uses those tears as a weapon to use in a YouTube video.
On camera.
She just wanted to venture out. I know she just wanted to see. No.
I'm not buying that, y'all.
I don't know where the fuck she is.
I just don't. Yeah, I'm not buying this as sadness at all.
Just like, literally. Sorry.
I even asked her, why would you film right now if you're this upset? Which she would get pissed, so I never mentioned anything about the vlogs. Yeah. She was obviously the expert and always knew what the right thing was to post. And I say, oh yeah, she's smashing YouTube. Right, salty bastard. Emily says, a person can only watch so many videos about Legos, Choosy, and the occasional bingo session before boredom sets in. She really doesn't do a whole lot of anything. And then I say, I always thought her Rarity videos seemed fake. Well, so did everyone, not just me, yeah. Usually when she knows she's in the wrong, but doesn't want to admit it, she's over the top and extra dramatic about things, yes. And she was definitely over the top.
Oh my God,
say,
y'all.
what was she like along? What she said about Rarity? Did she talk about Rarity? Oh, may as well. Also, not to bombard you, but I'll ask while it's just popped in my head and I'm still awake. I just saw a clip earlier today of you and her at the Billie Eilish concert, whatever she's called. Still don't know. You looked miserable. We did talk about her because I was actively searching for her. She would say how much she missed her every once in a while, but she definitely handled it better than I would have ever if I lost my pet.
Oh, that makes me miss Rarity. I miss her so much. Sorry. Moment of silence.
She would cry sometimes, but she didn't cry like she did on camera about her. Oh, okay, right. I definitely feel like this was a huge distraction from the big fight that happened. Oh, yeah. It seemed to blow over faster than it should have. I wanted to keep it civil while she was here, while we were looking for the cat. That's when she tried signing up for therapy in Wisconsin to show that she was going to get help for how she acts.
I need to do therapy for BPD. So, I found a dude. Why did I say it like that?
We would argue on and off though, but she was actively trying to minimize her tantrums. I bought those tickets for her well before this happened. They were really expensive, and because they were in a premium seat, I couldn't resell them. I knew how much it meant to her to see Billy, so I took her. I tend to forgive too easily. Me again. So how did you get her to leave eventually? Because she told us she left because she was a grown-up and had an apartment or some nonsense. It was something stupid like that, wasn't it?
What was the real reason you went back to Oklahoma and didn't stay in Wisconsin? Because I have a whole ass apartment. I have a whole life here. I love my apartment. I love living alone in a responsible way. I belong here right now. So that is why we're currently in a long distance relationship, but I do see us moving in together in the future.
Didn't make sense anyway. Also again, while it's in my head and I'm awake, I bet driving her home wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I think that's when Mop Legs was born, wasn't it? The drive.
My OBS is like lagging. See, if I dealt with all the stuff that Emily dealt with, I would genuinely be like, you gotta figure it out. I would call her a taxi. I would send her to a motel. I would say, you're figuring this out. You're batshit, and then I would block her on everything. Genuinely, like, I'm not even kidding. One time, long time ago, I was talking to this guy, and we're gonna be in a relationship or whatever, and I drive all the way to I drove several hours, 6-7 hours to go visit, and when I got there, the dude, his apartment was tragic, and I'm 25 years old. You need to have furniture in your living room when when I visit you. None of that. There was piss and shit all throughout his apartment. He had just gotten a new dog and was not taking care of it and was just letting it piss and crap in its crate. And I gave the dude 12 hours. I was supposed to stay there the whole weekend, right? Gave the dude 12 hours, woke up the next day, had a horrible night because the dude was raging at strangers on the road. Anyway. So yeah, the next day I wake up and I'm hearing the dog poop and pee in its crate, and dude's not moving at all. It smells so bad. And so, I'm just you know what? I'm not doing this. So I grab my stuff and I leave. And when he gets up and calls me, I tell him exactly what's going on. I'm real with him. This is not for me. And dude's super upset. He's like, this is so embarrassing for me. And I'm like, literally no one knows. No one knows who I am. So this shouldn't be embarrassing. But yeah, anyway, that's just an example of how I have zero. I do not deal with behaviors. I do not deal with bad behaviors in people.
Oh, she's so gross, man. Oh. She couldn't keep up her normal behavior for too long before her true self came out again, and we started arguing all the time. I finally got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore and told her she's going back home. I drove her back home to Oklahoma myself instead of waiting for her mom to come do it. I don't know why she was insistent on making it seem like it was her decision. Alright, why Amber was acting to us oh, it's my decision. Right, okay.
I don't want to talk about this, but I was in Wisconsin and I chose to come home myself because I love living by myself. Genuinely, Tommy didn't want me to leave. Tommy said I am welcome there forever.
Oh, it was 19 hours. I drove 19 hours
through
and flew.
She asked Amber to pack her bags and leave.
Home? But the next day. It took that long because of all the stops she had to take. Oh, God, yeah. That was the longest drive of my life, figuratively and literally. Within the first hour of the drive, she was screaming at me so much that Twinkie freaked out and jumped under my feet on the driver's side floor. I was driving on the highway and I had to pull over because she won't come out. I don't even remember what she was mad at me about. I think it was a comment over me getting to choose the music on the radio since I was driving that long and she wanted to choose to listen to.
Have you enjoyed the ride so far?
I do, I like it. Even the music.
Mama Lynn looks exhausted here.
Even the music.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
We had a Billie
like it?
Eilish
Are you happy?
streak, yes.
That's what
And I
matters.
appreciate you guys taking me.
That's what matters.
No. Yeah, this is her again. After she was back home, she tried ringing me back in, saying she was going to therapy and actively working on it, and maybe the distance would be good to help us eventually be able to be together again without the fighting. We had a lot of on again, off again stuff. I think we all...
I'm sorry, this is off topic, but the way I look paler than someone in the UK is actually crazy. Like,
that as well, yeah. Every time I tried to cut things off after things were getting bad again, she'd always have some sort of health scare to bait me back in. Well, that doesn't sound like Amber at all, does it?
So they're doing everything they can.
She was like, oh, it just means like you.
So that's telling me that Amber might have gone to the ER as a stunt to try to get Emily to talk to her. That's my opinion.
Could possibly have a blood clot. That's why we checked your lungs.
What? I'm itching so hard I am causing welts.
Oh, and then I say that she's done that on YouTube for years, gets found out or has some big drama, and then returns with, oh, hey guys, I have a new health issue. And also poor Twinkie man. Anytime I've seen that dog on camera, they look terrified. I know why now. And again, I'm probably remembering wrong, but I'm sure Amber said she was on FaceTime with you when she was in a store with her mum when you ended it. Probably remembering it wrong. Sorry, probably am. How did you end it and how did she take it? Both her pets would get scared during a tantrum. Wasabi would always run and hide in his little enclosed litter box when she would yell. I felt so bad for him. I feel bad for Twinkie too, being stuck inside 24/7. I had to say I have no idea about when or what time she's referring to about being in the grocery store. I might be remembering it wrong, probably am. I had to end it for a multitude of reasons. She obviously didn't take it well. There was a lot of threats made of trying to ruin my life if I said anything publicly of her online.
So you know what? What a fucking snowflake. But if you share a video, which I have never shared screenshots of, if you share a video of me during a BPD meltdown where I'm half naked.
She uses being half naked as an excuse to not share a video that is probably recorded from Emily's like security cameras, right? We can blur all the naked parts, or we can just probably listen to the audio and get most of it, girl. You're not going to be able to sue nobody.
Due to your betrayal, that's when suing will happen. Absolutely.
It's a soft love. It's a soft love, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
She still tries to reach out to me. Sometimes she's civil, and sometimes she's absolutely unhinged. You don't say. Emily again. She did do a lot of threatening anytime she felt like she didn't have control of the situation. I'm still worried she's going to totally lose it once she finds out I talked to you.
I should be fucking showering right now. I should be fucking washing my...
I'm sorry, but this part of the live actually made me like visibly chuckle because I was like, it's 3 a.m. What the fuck are you talking about? You should be showering, girl. Oh, and then she goes on later to, like, at the very end of her live stream, she literally asked the chat if she should shower tonight or tomorrow. She's like, okay, 1 for tonight, 2 for tomorrow. Like, girl, you're so fucked.
Fine and dandy. I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack right here.
Well, she went live twice, just before bed and when she woke up. When I watched that Beck and Destiny collab, I was shocked at the similarities. Yeah, it's the same MO, isn't it? Unless they're not giving all the details. I feel like she's gotten worse since then, not better. Maybe she was just rough on me because I didn't put up with her crap or fall for her manipulation. I do feel drained too. Oh, have I missed the message? Sorry. Anyway, I think I said I felt drained just listening to it, so it must be worse for her. Do you feel drained too? It's not a time I like to think about or remember. It's all a lot. I appreciate you respectfully listening to what I have to say, so I can share my side of the story and not let her control the narrative. Is that it? That's it. I'm just glad they were in order. Like I said, the first time, well, the only time I've went through them is when I was talking to Emily, and then I quickly put them up, and then I've done this. Right, that is it. Well, it's it for now. Because I know she's gone live twice and blamed Emily for Rarity getting out. And today, I only caught a couple of clips, but she seemed very smug. So
yeah, I watched like not even 5 minutes of her live like today, and just smugness on a completely different level, most likely because she's been making a couple grand per crash out stream, so there's no reason for her to stop this bad behavior.
The end of this video was meant to be me saying something along the lines of, Amber, take accountability, like you didn't do with Beck. Take accountability, say sorry, and genuinely try and improve. And this won't go away, but it'll be the end of it for me making videos, and for Emily. Emily just wanted to get this off her chest, and this would have been it. This would have been my only video, and Emily would have been done. However, because Amber is super smart, and acted very smug in today's live stream, and blamed Emily, Emily is rather pissed. And now it's not the end of it, which it was gonna be. So we're not done. I don't think we're done anyway. From the little bit of conversation I had with Emily,
I just need her to come out with something that's going to finish Ambie, to be quite honest with you. I need her to come out with the tape. I need her to publish it
today. I don't think we are done. And there is more to come out. Yeah. So yeah, just Amber shot herself in the foot by just having to come online and lie and act really smug. A lot of stuff there. Yeah, you don't have to believe Emily. Loads of people won't. I'm sure some people will. But the messages, I'll just talk about it for another second. Yeah, there it is. So am I leaving? So she knows this is it now. Emily's not taking her nonsense. It's game over. I haven't been able to find Rarity all day. This is at 10:06. I need help finding her, please. I've been calling her name and looking everywhere all day. Looking everywhere. But then also says I didn't go to the back porch. Okay. I didn't want to pester Emily too much, because like I said to her, it's draining listening to. I'm guessing people are drained listening to it now. So I didn't want to just ask her a million questions. But like I said, after the smugness of today, I've said, look, if you want to find more proof about anything, go for it. Go for it. Go through your phone. Do an Amber. Go through your phone. Anything you like. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. Emily is pissed. What a dumb move. Just come on camera, say sorry. And then just... I mean, we did it with Beck, didn't we? And I stupidly thought... I was the only one. I stupidly thought, oh, I'm going to get the arc I envisioned when I first started watching Amber. She's going to come good in the end. She's going to turn it round. Because she said she was going to take accountability. And I believed her? And she obviously didn't, and blamed Beck for everything. Just did what the clips I've seen of the live stream today, she did that with Beck. Just turned it around and said, oh, Beck did this. It was Beck who did all this. And yeah, like what I've seen today, oh, it was Emily. Emily did this. All right, okay. Anyway, there's your messages. Yeah, I don't think it's the end of it now. Just what a dumb move. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thanks very much, everybody.
All right, well, it's going to be a pretty lazy edit for me today. Snowflake did say that we could, re-upload this or whatever, so I'm going to be super lazy. Thanks for watching. Like, dislike, comment, and subscribe if you want.